Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides, and I have another special Subaru for you. This is a Subaru BRZ, but it's not your standard BRZ. This is actually the first time I've actually seen this in person. It is a 50th anniversary edition BRZ. So let me tell you a little bit about Subaru, the 50th anniversary, and the BRZ. So Subaru has actually been selling cars here in the United States for 50 years, and they wanted to do something special to acknowledge that great achievement. And what they did was is they created what's called the Anniversary Edition. You can get any model Subaru, whether it's the Forester, Crosstrek, BRZ, WRX, WRX STI, Outback. You could get any of them, Legacy, in this heritage blue color. It's specific to the 50th anniversary model. So this isn't just simply, hey, they threw on some badging and they put some stuff on the seats. They also decided to come up with a unique color, this heritage blue. And I really think it fits the car wonderfully. Now, let's talk a little bit about BRZ. So, it's almost been about 8 years now that Subaru's been selling a BRZ, if you can believe that. It was a combination between Toyota and Subaru. Toyota did most of the outside work with the body, with the frame and whatnot. Subaru, you'll see once we pop the hood, did the work when it comes to that flat four engine. So this has a boxer motor, just like all the other Subarus, so nothing inline or anything like that. The only thing that separates this from every other Subaru at this dealership is that this is rear-wheel drive. So that's going to be the big, huge difference instead of it having all-wheel drive like all other Subarus have. And where I'm at today is I definitely want to give a big shout out to my buddy Spencer and everybody at Loki of Subaru of Newport Richey. They stood up to the plate to bring this amazing anniversary edition because guess what? I've looked high and I've looked low. I've seen many anniversary editions, which if you have not seen my WRX and the WRX STI, you could click on that in the Quickie Reviews playlist and the in-depth list on my YouTube channel. I actually had to come here because they're the ones that happen to have one. They stood up to the plate to allow me to bring it to you. So let's go ahead and take a look at the front of this car. So when you look at the front, if you did not know the differences, you would think that this is the older model. Now, the BRZ, just like the Toyota 86, which those two are kissing cousins because they're based off of the same setup, you would think that this is one of the older ones. But in 2017, they did a mild refresh of the BRZ and the 86. One of the places where they did the refresh is they changed the headlight. These are full LED headlights with LED turn signals. That's going to be one way automatically you know that this is a 17 or newer. So this being an 18, there's those LED headlights. You have these really nice fog lights. I really like the fog light touch down here. And one of my complaints on a lot of cars, especially when it comes to performance cars, none of these vents are functional. So this is a place I think Subaru could have made these functional to bring some cool air to those brakes because one thing you'll realize is that not only is this a 50th anniversary edition, but it's also got the performance package on it, which has some performance goodies, which I'll show you that in a second. Another thing that they changed up with the redesign is the front fascia here. They actually kind of tucked and tweaked it to make it look a little bit more aerodynamic. I really like the size and placement of the Subaru logo. And like I said, you can see that heritage color. It's pretty cool. It's like a bluish, silverish color. Front engine, rear wheel drive. I like the way that they have the lower lip down here. Now you can add an STI deeper lip spoiler down here to give it an even more aggressive look. And to be honest with you, I wish that was something that the anniversary edition came with or the performance package came with is that extra spoiler down here. But other than that, they did a great job with the refresh. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side down here, and I'm going to show you some other differences between the 2017, 2018 BRZ and some of the older ones. Here's the next big differences are these wheels. I am in love with these wheels. I like the finish. It almost looks like a blackish chromish color. It's really good look. I like the design of it. And if you notice, there it is, the famous name when it comes to performance brakes, Brembo. This car, for the first time in our BRZ, has a Brembo brake package. That's part of that performance package. So The performance package isn't about getting more horsepower, which I know for a lot of you, you've been dying for a turbo on this thing. Because remember, it's got that 2-liter direct injected engine. 2017, 2018, it did get a performance bump. I know you're not going to jump out of your seat. It was 5 horsepower, 205 horsepower. That's only on the manuals, not the automatics. But on a manual, you get the extra horsepower, and you have the option of the performance pack. You get these wheels. These are 17-inch. You get the brakes. And another nice thing is that they're putting a little bit better tire on the car. Originally, the tires on the older BRZs and the 86s, Toyota 86s, or what used to be called the Scion FRS, those were actually the same tires that were on a Toyota Prius. Great fun if you want to slide the car around. Not so much fun if you're actually trying to go forward at a track day event or an autocross event. Here it is, that beautiful anniversary edition. I like the size of the anniversary emblem. It's not too obnoxious, and it just really fits in with the color of the heritage blue. And there's that darker blue. It reminds me of a World Rally blue, and I really, really like that touch. Here's another finish. I like it styling-wise, but this side grille is not functional. It's all show and no go, but it does add to the aggressiveness of the styling here. If you go ahead and continue down the side of the car, I really, really like the roofs on the BRZ. I like the way that they have it really styled, makes it look aggressive. It's taking it from the front. All this is for aerodynamic purposes. Another thing at the end of the day that I love about the BRZ and the 86, guess what? This car weighs a little bit more than 2,700 pounds. Just to put that in perspective for you, a WRX STI weighs about 3,300 pounds, 3,400 pounds. So this is a lightweight at only 2,700 and about 90 pounds or so. That's what this car is going to excel in, is in handling. If you're looking for a car that's going to do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, you're barking up the wrong tree. But if you're looking for something that's going to handle like a dream, this is it. And it really has a great look to it. Let's go out to the back here. If you look at the back of the BRZ, I really, really like what they did with this spoiler. Now, this is another new for 2017, 2018. I like the way that it's aluminum. A lot of people don't realize this. This is an aluminum metal spoiler. What's cool is that it's aluminum here, but then what they do is each car is going to have it color-coded to match the body. So you have that wonderful 50th anniversary heritage blue on the end of the wings. And then here's another place I want you to focus your attention are these taillights. Like we pointed out before, the headlights for the 2017, 2018 are updated LEDs. So are the taillights here. Very, very nice look. I've always liked the rear end. They changed up the rear end a little bit with a light refresh. It makes the car look balanced, and that's what this car is all about, is that balanced performance. But I don't know about you. The outside is nice. Let's go take a look at the inside, and I think you're going to be surprised. All right, guys, we're inside this 2018 Subaru BRZ, the 50th anniversary edition. I really love the interior of these BRZs. Check out the doors. I really like what they've done. There's a lot of leather for the update that Subaru did. There's leather up by the window, leather trim. You have the perforated leather right by the armrest. The armrest is in leather. And even, I really like the way they brought the leather next to the speaker in the door panel. Because remember, this car is a little smaller. It's a little bit more snug fit. If your legs are rubbing up against that, it's going to be up against a little bit softer leather rather than some hard plastic. One thing I also want to point out is by the controls, it's a little different. It's got some faux carbon fiber. To be honest with you, to the unexpecting eye, it looks real. It looks like real carbon fiber, but it's nice touches. I like the leather here with the stitching. They really did a great job bringing up the level of the BRZ. You also have some leather here for your left leg, so both legs are going to be covered. I am in love with these seats. I wish these seats were put in the WRX and the WRX STI. I love the leather here, Alcantara, and then of course there's that 50th anniversary embroidery on the seats. I love the shape of these seats. These seats may not be Recaros, but they got a wonderful look, nice leather. And remember, this is what you want. You want leather here because when you come in and out of that car, that's where all the wear is going to be, or on these sides of the bolsters. Now, here's a little tidbit of history and knowledge. This material here, it's called Alcantara. Now, the reason why we call it that is because the company that makes this material, that's the name, Alcantara. So that's just a little tidbit from me to you, is this wonderful Alcantara and what it means now. I really like the center stack here with the navigation. You got these really cool switches that are nicely set up and easy to use. And this has a dual climate air conditioning system, which a lot of cars I wish would have that still don't. This also has push button start, and there it is. One of my favorite parts on any car, that manual transmission. 6 speed. I actually like the gearbox better in this car than in the STI. It's not as notchy as the STI, and the throws are so short. It's really, really wonderful feel. It engages nicely. That's what this car is about. This car is all about, at the end of the day, that balanced performance. Here you could see right behind the shifter, you have a track mode where you could turn traction control off. It's just really nice. And even these seats at this price point are fully heated. So that's a really nice touch. Now, one big thing, I know you're probably saying, Joe, you're talking this car up. Are you being a little biased? Here's my big issue with BRZs, FRSs, 86s, whatever you want to call it, is this right here. What is going on here, guys? This car has all this wonderful material, but there's no actual armrest. I mean, you got this cup holder thing, and there's a little bit of a space here, which that's great for putting your phone or whatever. But at the end of the day, when you're driving, I mean, do you really want your elbow in a cup holder? And it's hard plastic. This is where they missed the mark a little bit in here, even though the rest of it is great. I mean, look at this wonderful leather emergency brake lever, but yet there's no cover here. So this is one place on the interior where it gets a big zonk. Another thing for me is I would like to see a little bit more of that red trim. Even though this isn't an STI model, I would like some red stitching, some red trim just to balance it out. The steering wheel, though, the steering wheel is wonderful. I don't know how you feel about it. They did update it in 2017 by putting the radio controls on the steering wheel. Some people love that. Some people don't. If you're doing a track day, that stuff can get in the way. I wish maybe they could have done something here with the cruise control stalk. This, they could have blended in to the controls on the steering wheel, I think. But at the end of the day, look right there in the center. If Tom could go ahead and show you, is that tachometer smack dab in the center. That's the business end of the deal right there. So when you're doing your track day, you can stay focused. It's a really, really wonderful place. You don't feel claustrophobic in here. I think a lot of you that maybe shied away from a BRZ or an FRS or an 86, you thought maybe it was claustrophobic. It's not. Here's another feature I want to show you. If Tom could pan to the top here, they actually cut out the ceiling here for a reason. It's so that you could put a helmet on. If you're doing a track day or an autocross event, you gotta wear a helmet. That helmet's gonna take up some extra space, and they already thought about it. I'm 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. I feel great in here, and with a helmet on, it'll be perfect. It won't rub because I have been in cars when you have a helmet on, you're sort of like this, a little cockeyed, and you're going around the track. That's gonna mess you up. You don't want that at the end of the day. I'm very happy with the direction. I have a little bit of information I'm going to save at the end. There's a little surprise of what's coming from Subaru and the BRZ, and it has to do with power. So I don't know about you. Let's check out underneath the hood and see what we're talking about. All right, guys, here we are underneath the hood of the BRZ. Now, like I said, I think the biggest problem for so many people is they want more power. More power would be great, I'll be honest. I think another 20, 25, 30 horsepower would do this car some great justice. I really think they would pay back big dividends to take the engine right out of the WRX and drop it in here, that turbocharged engine. But at the end of the day, this is what we're dealing with. We have a 2-liter flat four, that boxer engine, normally aspirated. So no turbocharger, no supercharger. As you can see, the amount of room underneath the hood, it's amazing because the car with this engine is flat. So it's going to be low, very low in the chassis. And you can see because here is the top of the frame and here's the top of the motor. You can see the difference in my hands. And that's what it's all about, to increase that handling, is by getting that center of gravity low in the chassis. Now, there is some speculation that the next BRZ for 2021 is supposed to have a 2.4-liter naturally aspirated engine. So expect to see some power come into play here. But at the end of the day, 205 horsepower, this car will do 0 to 60 in about 6.4 seconds. So it's not a drag race car, but you take this on a track a tight, twisty road by your house or an autocross event, you're really going to show some people up and make them be surprised. One other feature I want to show you is that they really try to stiffen the handling of this car. These supports here are to stiffen the front end of the car, and that's what's going to make the steering so quick, so snappy, and so accurate. This thing, I promise you, around a track has more accurate steering than a WRX or a WRX STI. I've driven them. I know what it's all about. I felt it. So my advice is really get out there and go and drive one at the end of the day because I think it's going to really surprise you. All right, guys. So it's been one hell of a day here at Loki Subaru of Newport Richey. I want to thank Spencer once again and everybody else at the dealership for stepping up to the plate and allowing me to bring to you not only a BRZ with the performance package, but also this 50th anniversary edition in that beautiful heritage blue. At the end of the day, when it comes to things, you really need to get out and test drive one of these cars. I think it's going to surprise you. A lot of people wind up buying cars off of a spec sheet. You don't drive a spec sheet. A spec sheet doesn't move your soul, doesn't bring the passion. A car like this is going to. So find a Subaru dealership, take one for a test drive. I want to thank all of you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. We're up to 3,500 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please join the group. Hit that subscribe button. If you have not checked out my Instagram page or my Twitter page, go to Raity's Rides, all original content. I just started a business page on Facebook, Raiti's Rides. Go ahead and like that. Maybe if you could rate me, that would be awesome. And if there's something special you want to see, leave a comment in that comment section. If you have something special and you want it here on Raiti's Rides, leave a comment in that comment section. And like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.